First of all, I would like to formally announce everyone that this build took me 7 hours and 20 minutes. 7 hours and 20 minutes. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, hi! Welcome back to my channel and to another speed build. I keep doing a bunch of these. It kind of shows that it's my favorite thing to do in The Sims. But anyway, hi. This build and this video is going to be a little bit different than the usual. First of all, because of the type of build that's very different from the usual builds you see and I see or do. But also because what I usually do in these speed build videos is I kind of talk about stuff as I do them on screen. So if I'm making the floor plan, I will talk about the floor plan, and if I'm furnishing the living room, I'm just talking about furnishing the living room. This is kind of hard to do this time because, as I said, this video took me 7 hours and 20 damn minutes. To make it half an hour, I had to cut out a bunch of stuff. So I only kept the essential parts of it, like what I thought it was most funny or culturally significant, so to say. It's also just all over the place, to be fair, because I just didn't know how better to organize it. I kept all the furnishing on the inside except like a bathroom and the modern extension of the house, which is a kitchen. And I did keep some of the landscaping in, but that took me the most time. First of all, because I'm not very good with terrain, and this lot had a lot of terrainy stuff. And also because I had to dig through the debug items too much. My eyes were hurting. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit different. I'm just gonna talk to you, say whatever crosses my mind. If I see something on screen that catches my attention, I will let you know. I guess I should probably tell you what's going on here, because this build is kind of special to me. What I'm doing is that I am building my grandmother's house, the one I spent many summers at with my cousin, you know, being kids, having a bunch of fun. It was nice, and I have very fond memories of it. So I kind of got borderline obsessed with making it as accurate as possible to how it was when I was there. Actually, how it is now, because the modern extension wasn't there when I was small. But you know what I mean. Anyway, this is an East European house, like hardcore East European. It's a very old house, so the East European elements are strong with this one. I had a lot of fun. I always knew that we had some fun stuff that are very tied to East European culture, you know, and the experience that we had as East Europeans, like communism and stuff. Obviously, I wasn't born. No, not obviously. You don't know my age. I'm 25. But obviously, I wasn't born when communism was, you know, still here. But the remains of the past are still here. You can feel their presence in every hoarding obsession of every elderly person, in a lot of the design and architectural choices. in a lot of the items that are very specific to this side of the world, it was fun and different because you don't really get to see specific East European builds when watching Sims YouTube. And also I don't really get to build that, mostly because they are so ugly. They are incredibly ugly, and they also make little to no sense regarding the floor plan and stuff like that. We are more I don't know, we value more using and maximizing the space to bring in as many objects and to host as many people as possible in as little space as possible than we are with how the overall outcome looks like. So they're ugly. They are just ugly, but it's a fun type of ugly. A lot of mismatched furniture with just different colors, and that makes no sense to put together. A lot of stuff that are just in the way because you need to have as many storage space as possible. A lot of little clutter items and knickknacks that are very specific to this place. There is this little, I don't even know what to call it. It's like a small statue, decorative statue that almost every old/traditional East European house has. It's of a dog. I will put a picture on screen if I can find it online. I obviously don't have this in The Sims because it looks in this very specific way. Like, it's not a sculpture that looks like this and everyone has something that looks like this. No, it's just this. It's this one. But I did find a little sculpture of a dog and I put it in the living space, in the living room, just to kind of symbolize it, It's it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to work around The Sims while still making the build as accurately as I could. Because I tried and I did download some CC items exactly because I wanted it to be as accurate as I could get it to be. But I couldn't really, do it justice. I don't think I completely did it justice. I do think it looks sort of like it does in real life, but the real life elements are just so funny to me. They're just funny. And I tried to find some CC items for some very specific things that are in almost every old East European house, but I couldn't find it because The Sims is a very American-centered game, so it wasn't obviously in the game. And also the community and the creators are more modern and, not East European, most of them. And the builds that we build, again, aren't East European, especially not old East Europeans, so there was no way of finding them, but I tried. I used platforms to create this type of... It's something between a stove and a fireplace, okay? So I'll put a picture on the screen. It's made of terracotta, and it was used, and sometimes still is. My grandparents still have it in their house, in every room. You just chop wood and you put it in there and you light it up like you would in a fireplace. But also it has this stove functionality to it. You can just cook stuff on it. And also the terracotta really warms it up. Yes, I am putting a rooster on the roof because my grandparents have a rooster on the roof. A lot of countryside houses from this particular place have roosters on the roof. They're like those type of wind thingies, you know, that tell you where the wind is coming from, and they spin around. They have roosters on top of it. I just put a rooster. I really hope it's called a rooster and I'm not saying stupid stuff. Anyway, that is the dog sculpture I was talking about. I put it there to just symbolize the one in real life. And here on the walls, I'm putting these very big dog sculptures because they are ridiculous. In real life, there aren't two dog sculptures, but above the sofa there is this very big leaned in frame full of antlers, and I think, if I remember correctly, there are like real antlers attached to a painting of deers. I am sorry I don't have a picture of it. I am really sorry. I will take a picture of it the next time I go to my grandparents' house because it is the most ridiculous and kitschy thing I have ever seen. And here above the I don't know what they're called in the game, they're end tables, I put another dog painting, but in real life there is a replica of the Da Vinci painting with the sorry, I'm having trouble. I have no idea what it's called in English. It's the one with the Jesus dinner party. I'm sorry if I offended anyone. I just truly don't know what it's called in English. But it's that. It's there and it's massive. And attached to it, my grandparents put pictures of me and my cousin from when we were very small, and they keep them there, and that's kind of sweet. Also, just as they put the pictures of us in the Jesus frame, they also have pictures of us attached to the windows on the doors, because in this house, and again in most traditional East European houses, all the doors have windows, and you put curtains on the windows. Does it make any sense? No, but it is just what it is. But here I am using the platforms to make the stove fireplace thingies. It was a struggle. I used the parenting sheet that lets you ground your kids. I used it to simulate a little door in which you actually put the wood that's burning. It doesn't look too good, but I did what I could with what I had. Also, I'm trying to use platforms to mimic a freezer. I actually go and get a CC freezer and replace that because it looks awful. I don't know what I was thinking. Also, in the series of pretty dumb things that this house has, and a lot of other houses in this area have, is a vase in which instead of flowers or fake flowers, we have feathers of what Google Translate says they are called pheasants. I will put a picture on screen. It does sound like they're called like that because it's pretty close to what we call them, which is fazani. But It sounds like peasant. Here outside of the house, I am digging through the debug menu to find some plants so I can mimic this vine that my grandparents have and is attached to this metal archway. And it's there ever since I can remember, but The Sims 4 doesn't really have vines, so are they called vines? I'm questioning everything right now. I don't... You know, the ones that give grapes and you make wine from them? They're called vines, right? Anyways, I didn't have those, so I had to use these debug plants that look kind of odd, but you get the idea. And I put a swing there, a double swing. In real life, there is a single swing that my grandpa that my grandpa actually built for me and my cousin when we were very small, and we would always use it. But I go back and change it to a CC swing that is just one single swing. I don't know why. I just wanted to keep it real because I have a very fond memory of the swing at some point when we were left unsupervised. Me and my cousin, being like, I don't know, 7 maybe, decided that it would be a very cool idea to just cut the swing off because it was attached with some rope and we just wanted to cut it. It was my cousin's idea. He proposed to do it and I was just like, yeah, sure, let's do it, and I did it. I don't know why. I don't think we ever knew why. It's not that I forgot, it's just that we never had an actual good reason to. But what I'm doing here is cluttering up a sort of storage space. And I did this so many times that it hurt because for some reason my grandparents, and again a lot of just East European houses in general, countryside houses, I will add, I am highlighting this. These are houses that you will find in the countryside. The ones in the city look different. We just have like 3 different buildings that are their sole purpose is to store a bunch of shit, because we never hire professionals to do anything, so you must always be sure that you have all the tools you need in the world to do absolutely anything ever. Instead of, except maybe like, I don't know, go to the doctor or something, we usually just wait until we die. Or we're dying. But now I am doing another kitchen because, again, this is a very common thing in the area. I mentioned before that the house has a modern extension that now has a kitchen, and it's an indoors kitchen. But before that, there was no such thing. So the only kitchen that there was, it was this one that was outside, and you had to go all the way outside, even in winter when it was very cold. You can see how that's very inconvenient and not practical. But you would have to go there. And also it would be extremely cold in the morning, because for it to heat up, you would need to use, you know, wood in the terracotta stove. And you can't just let it burn all night without supervision, because that's a fire hazard. Don't do that, please. So every night it would get incredibly cold. So it gets pretty annoying. It also doesn't have a flooring, it's just dirt underneath. And here is one of my favorite parts. I am looking for a sort of carpet to put on the wall. This is something extremely cultural around here for some reason. Don't ask me the reason. I don't know it. but mostly every old house has carpet on the walls. I put curtains because I can't actually get carpet on the floor without using the tool mode, but the tool mode is too smart for me, so I didn't even bother. But you know, this is the kitchen that was functional until, like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I don't really remember, but it was the one we used when we were small. We would always eat there. I was always scared because a lot of spiders were there all the time, and they would get caught up in the carpet, and I would always have to sit with my back on the carpet. Now that I think of it, it might be that the carpet was there to keep you warm, so you wouldn't have your back against like solid concrete. But also there are other homes that have carpet just as, you know, decor. So I'm not sure it was that, but it was pretty odd. I would always get scared of spiders, and my grandma would always make fun of me. I remember that one time it was very windy outside, and there is a very big forest right as you exit the yard. So there are like lots of trees that host a lot of insects, you know. And it was very windy, so, you know, insects flying around as they are. And at some point grandma just stops and she looks at me and she starts laughing her heart out, and I was just so confused and I didn't understand, and I just kept asking her, what are you doing, why are you laughing at me? And she suddenly looked down at my shirt, and I was so confused. And when I looked down, there was this huge ass black bug that was stuck to my shirt, and I started screaming and she was laughing. Now it's hilarious. It wasn't so hilarious back then, I must admit. Sorry if this video is all over the place. The voiceover is also all over the place. I just don't really know how else to voice over it. So I trust that you are smarter than me and you understand what I'm saying. But here I kind of jumped ahead to when the two other buildings full of incredibly huge amount of clutter and boxes are here. This one that I am doing now is actually I put boxes inside just to fill it in, but there aren't actually boxes, it's just corn, like a bunch of corn. Oh my god, I just realized popcorn is called popcorn because it's popped corn. Wow, what is the English language? Anyway, I had a lot of trouble with the fencing because I don't know why the fuck The Sims doesn't just have a plain wooden fence. Maybe this is also just not American? I don't know. I will put a picture on the screen of what I was looking for because I couldn't find any CC either. I also tried very hard. And the gardens had this chain link fence to it. I think this is what it's called. This is what Google told me, so blame him. Yeah, so I couldn't find any chain link fence, which was pretty frustrating because it's very common where I'm from. Like, very common. What are you people doing? And here I'm trying to play with the terrain because this is a hole that we have in the garden, just there. Just there. I don't really know if it had a purpose at some point. It's just a place for the chickens to hang out in. They just hang out there. They like it. I think it's easy for them to, I don't know, kill worms and stuff. I have no freaking idea. but it looks ugly as shit in real life. The Sims kind of makes everything look pretty. It isn't pretty in real life. It's kind of gross. It looks just muddy and empty and weird. I think it also doesn't help that there are some pig stables there. And so whenever you get close, it kind of, I don't know, smells of pig. Am I like exposing my grandparents right now? I don't know. I will interrupt what I'm saying because I am building a toilet, an outdoors toilet. I don't know if you used to have this too in America or wherever you're from, but here, as I said, a lot of houses in the countryside don't have plumbing, so it's pretty expensive to get yourself a functional indoors toilet, and not everybody can afford it. So the staple, and it's a very old thing, is to have this kind of like metal box that you build somewhere in your yard, and it just has a toilet and a hole under the toilet, so everything you do just goes in that hole that gets emptied every couple of years or so. Yes, it is as gross as it sounds. It was also horrifying to go there when I was little because I grew up in the city, where we don't have these kinds of problems. I am also a pussy, so every little insect scares me. Also, the darkness used to scare me, so it wasn't a fun experience. It's probably the only memory I am not fond of from when I used to come here in the summers. But anyway, again, my grandparents do have now an actual functional toilet, but they still have the other one. I don't know why they never bothered to, put it down. I guess it's too much effort for no gain, because it has like 1 square meter. But here we are approaching the end, and you can see me doing this little stupid, very annoying thing in which I place every custom content crop by hand, and then I realized that I could just put them all in a box and then copy paste it. And then I tried to do it for the other crops too, but I couldn't. So I never filmed it anymore because it was horrendous. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my post-communist East European building. This was very fun to do. It was a very nostalgic build. I got to relive a lot of my childhood memories in my head. It was very fun. But this is all for today. I will leave you with this magnificent rooster on the roof. See ya!